Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today, we have a special video in the store for you guys. As you guys know, what we try to do here in CWA is bring as many of the top decks as we can from ladder last season onto the channel and watch their matches towards the very end of last season. But last season, something really unique and special happened. As you can see here, I am joined by the number 1 and the number 2 players from last season. It's Samuel, and guess what, guys? Samuel is playing both of the accounts. This is the first time that we've had this happen before, using this deck. 2 accounts, 1 deck, first and second in the world. I don't know if there's a more pronounced, profound statement on the strength of either a player or a deck than what we saw last season from Samuel. 2 accounts not only in Ultimate Champions League, but also number 1 and 2 in the world. That's crazy. And he's a Brazilian pro for Nova Esports. So today, I'm excited to show the matches that led him to first and second place at the end of last season. Now, some of you might be looking for the Pompeo balloon cycle deck that I promised yesterday's Pro v Pro. I still have that. I just have a backlog of so much amazing content, and I felt like Samuel's achievement was so noteworthy, first and second, that we ought to show that right away, just to kind of get it out there, what he did. It's really unbelievable. So we will have Pompeo's deck either tomorrow or Wednesday, the day after, and we'll definitely bring all of those to you guys, along with tons of other great decks that we saw dominating the top of ladder at the end of last season. So here we go. We have guards exchanging a 3-for-5 trade with that prince on the right. It allows Samuel to really take advantage here and pull that giant into the king tower, activate the king tower. The opponent made a big mistake here sending in that miner. It was an overcommitment, and Samuel was about to make him pay here. He has the fireball locked and loaded. It's going to come down, I think, and there it is against that musketeer, taking her to a sliver of health, pushing her into the opposite lane. And the opponent says good game, because you know what? Even though it's not even halfway through the game right now, let's fast forward a little bit here because we have a lot of good replays to bring you guys. Even though it's only halfway into the match, at this level, unless someone makes an absolutely huge mistake, it's very difficult to come back for this. Although the opponent's deck probably does have the small advantage going into double elixir time, a little bit heavier on the beatdown. But you can see that Samuel really has an answer for everything with this deck. It's a Hog Cycle deck, obviously. It's 3.1, so it's obviously not as fast as the 2.6 that we saw Jack use last season. By the way, I'll link that video if you want to see number 1 deck from last season. Jack was just an absolute stud at 2.6 Hog Cycle. But I gotta say that Samuel's deck is much more defensively oriented. It has the guards that answer so much in the meta right now. They're great against PEKKA. PEKKA's everywhere. They're great against princes. Even Dark Prince guards can stop if you place them directly on top of them. Even Royal Ghosts, like splash damage troops. Guards are just great right now in the meta. And it's cool to see guards being great in the meta, because guards are one of my favorite troops, honestly, guys. So throughout the rest of these replays, we will make sure that we bring you some of the tips that Samuel used to have success with this deck. That way you guys can try to emulate them and have success for yourselves. Let's move into the next replay here. And the next one's going to be against Wings. Wings is also an incredible player. He's an OG of the game, and he's known for playing giant decks, beatdown decks. Really one of the best beatdown players out there in the game. Wings doesn't get enough credit for that, and he's been on the channel before. I'll try to dig up an old episode of Wings on voice. But either way, Wings is playing a Goizen deck as well, a little bit different version. It's a little bit more challenging a version to go against for Samuel, because he has Ewiz in this version of this Goizen deck. Now, I promise the last 2 replays won't be Goizen, guys, so hang in there. We'll play another Hog Lumberjack deck, and we'll play against a PEKKA control-y type deck, which is going to be another challenging matchup for Samuel. So here we go. Here we have a King Tower activation there. Now notice that Samuel noticed that he saw the Prince play on the opponent there by Wings, and he opted to tornado the Dark Prince into the King Tower rather than wasting his guards there, which would have been probably the obvious counter to that Dark Prince, placing them again right on top of that Dark Prince. So that was a really smart play there, and here we go again, reloading here with a Hog. Now we're first going to see the Ewiz in this deck, so Samuel knows he has his work cut out for him here. Although, even with the Ewiz and the Mega Minion, we're still able to get 3 swings on that tower with that Hog Rider. here. So now here comes a Dark Prince and a Mega Minion. This could be trouble here, but Samuel's going to do a great job defending. Check this out. Uses the guards on the Dark Prince, then freezes them. That will allow him to take out that Dark Prince, and now he has to deal with this Prince in the other lane. He does take like 3 swings from the Mega Minion, but that could have been a lot worse. He recognizes that Wings is really low on elixir here, charges him with that Hog. Good zap there by Wings, but now we have the elixir advantage if we can just deal with this Mega Minion here. So one thing I noticed that Samuel does with this deck a lot is, and this is something just playing the deck a little bit myself, I noticed with this deck is sometimes it's not super obvious what the next play should be. So you're stuck in kind of awkward hands at times, like a fireball. Look at the hand he has right now. So like, what are you supposed to exactly play here? You know, obviously you can cycle Ice Spirit in the back, but if you have Log in your hand, you'll notice that throughout all these matches, of course, the exception to the rule being against bait, you don't want to cycle your Log, but oftentimes Samuel will just cycle his Log right into the tower that he's going for to get a little bit extra chip damage to keep his rotation and cycle moving. So good defense against the Double Prince in the left with guards and a Knight, and then he's able to really just Executioner Tornado this entire push here in the right side and really shut that down. A nice Fireball getting a little value there on that E-Wiz, and then allowing him in return to get no hits on that left tower. So here we go. It's a charging Prince in the right lane. It's Double Prince in the right lane. We got to be ready for this one. Here comes a Log for those guards, but beautiful Ice Spirit, freezing everything, stopping them, and then the Log kind of pushes them back too. The Princess didn't get any good value charges there on the right lane. That could have been devastating, but a really nice counterattack Hog. A really ballsy play there by Samuel, sending in the Hog when he had a Double Prince Log coming at him in the right lane, but of course identifying, okay, wait a second here, that's like 11 elixir, so I should be able to send in a Hog and get a lot of value here. Speaking of Hog value, here it goes, another Hog push on the left. Wings is not happy about it. Samuel has him here, just needs to stop this Giant, which he does, and then it's going to be a Fireball Log combo to end it here for Samuel. There's the Fireball, there's the Log, that's going to end it, and there it goes, taking down Wings, who's a great player. You saw Wings played that really well, had a couple really strong offensive pushes, but Samuel able to really shut him down, and part of it was knowing when to apply that Hog pressure in the opposite lane. Even in any situation where he thought Wings overextended himself, even just a little bit, he sent in that Hog. He was ready. All right, let's watch the Hog Lumberjack versus Hog Executioner Tornado. So, of course, we have Samuel on the top. We have Kyrios on the bottom. He's playing the Hog Lumberjack version, which is kind of similar, kind of not. We have minions, we have Ice Golem in this deck, and of course we have Lumberjack. And let's see how Samuel does. He starts off with a Hog and an Ice Spirit. If you guys didn't notice this on the other replays, I'm not sure if he did or not, but either way, he's not afraid to go in with a Hog and an Ice Spirit to start out the match, or a Hog, Naked Hog, Hog Ice Spirit. He's going to be the aggressor in a lot of these matches, so it's something that we notice some players do, some players don't do. Samuel prefers to send in that Hog if he has him in his starting hand. And look at that, just good, another good elixir awareness there by Samuel at the top, allowing his Hog to get there, being aggressive with the Hog Knight play, and reaching that left tower when he knows that Kyrios kind of overcommitted a little bit on offense. So here we go again, gonna reload on Kyrios' side with an Ice Golem in the back. Samuel's gonna do what we talked about, right? Throwing in that Naked Log, just keeping the chip damage coming, and then he's gonna go ahead and cycle a Executioner way in the back. Now, if he drew out a Fireball out of his opponent on just that solo Executioner, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. So now we have an Inferno Dragon in the left, we have a Hog Lumberjack in the right. Nice NATO, activate that King Tower, nice guards right in the middle, distracting that Inferno Dragon, distracting the Lumberjack, and just a beautiful, beautiful defensive sequence there for Samuel. Look at that. I mean, that was a big push. He had the Ice Golem and the Inferno Dragon coming in the left, he had the Hog Lumberjack coming in the right, and then guards behind it all in the right, and really able to walk away pretty much unscathed. Sends in that counterattack there, that Hog getting a few more hits on that left tower, 734 damage, again, before we approach double elixir time. This is one of those decks where you want to try to get as much damage as possible before double elixir time, because oftentimes your deck won't have the advantage come double elixir time. And remember, this is Captain Obvious statement of the day from Ash, but if you're going against this opponent with Rocket, make sure you're not throwing your Executioner anywhere near your Princess Tower. Make sure you're playing him in front of the King Tower about 3 or 4 tiles up. That way he can evade those value rockets, excuse me. So here we go. It's an Executioner and a Hog in the left lane. The opponent is giving sad faces. He knows it. And 1 and 2 hits. Don't even need the Fireball. Don't even need the Log there. Lumberjack's going to run after that Hog, unfortunately for Kyrios there. And this one's pretty much already in the books here. We have NATO if we need it. We don't need it. We can just use the guards there, kind of distract the Inferno Dragon and the Lumberjack there. And you can see the Inferno Dragon is just about dead there. Executioner doing a great job cleaning up that mess. And here we go. We're going all in on the right. Samuel goes ahead and throws a good value Fireball, Log, and that's going to be it with the NATO there. So just between Fireball, Log, and NATO, you can pretty much do whatever you want with this deck. You know, in terms of defensive options, you have a lot at your disposal. You can use guards, you can use Executioner, you can use NATO, you can use Log, you can use Fireball, you can use them all together. Whatever your opponent throws at you, you should have some sort of a good answer. So against beatdown decks, we don't have any replays available, but I do want to discuss that, guys. Against a beatdown deck, this is the type of deck that you really want to make sure you're prepared to hit the opposite lane pretty hard every single time they drop their Golem or their Lava Hound. Now, why is that? I always say that. What does it mean? Like, why are we hitting the other lane hard? And what if it doesn't work for us? Well, it doesn't matter. Part of the reason you're hitting the opposite lane against heavy beatdown matchups isn't just to get that tower down, isn't just to do a lot of damage. It's to make the opponent devote elixir to defending that opposite lane so they can't support their Golem. Otherwise, it can be incredibly challenging to stop that Golem push or that Lava Hound push if they're loading up all their elixir behind it, even if you have the same amount of elixir. So you'd much rather your opponent devote elixir to defending the other side, right? So even if you don't get a lot of damage, let's just say you get 300 damage off their opposite lane tower and it cost you like 7 elixir, right? It's a good thing if the opponent had to devote like 5 or 6 elixir to defending against it, because that will allow you to use your Executioner, your Tornado, your guards, whatever, in the opposite lane against that Golem or the Lava Hound push, and allow you to actually be able to handle it because they don't have enough elixir to kind of overrun you, okay? So here we go into this matchup. It's kind of like the PEKKA control bridge spam by Hatcher. It's a great deck, and shout out to Crucible Wrath. I know that they have so many great players, definitely. I hesitate to say underrated clan because they're rated really highly, but they don't get talked about enough, in my opinion, in the conversation with Sandstorm and Nova as really like ladder beasts. And I think that Crucible Wrath certainly has made a great case over the last 2+ years that they should be in the same sentence. Anyway, here we go. It's going to be the first hog push, I think, coming in for Samuel, maybe the second one, rather, in that right lane there. Sends in the guards because he's ready for the E-Wiz, probably, but he runs into a bandit. Either way, it actually works out for him here. We have a knight and a PEKKA meeting at the bridge. It's going to be bye-bye knight. Bad matchup for him. And now we're going to have to defend this PEKKA and Battle Ram in the left lane. How are we going to do it? We're going to freeze it in a NATO, too. This is going to be tricky here. So that we stop... Whoa, wow, so much going on. So we stop the Battle Ram really well, and look at, we're able to still hold on to our NATO as well, and Guard's doing work against that PEKKA. Guard's going to take down that PEKKA. Meanwhile, we're going to send in an aggressive hog in the right lane, forcing both a PEKKA or an E-Wiz out of the opponent. They made maybe the mistake of dropping the PEKKA behind the King Tower there. Here comes another big push in the right lane. We have Executioner shutting down that Battle Ram and that E-Wiz. Executioner just proving his value right there. Again, a Tornado offensively for Hatcher there, and it looks like it's going to work out for him, but look at this hog play. It's a Hog Ice Spirit, freezes everything, allows the guards to do some work. Hog gets all the way to that tower, gets 1, 2, maybe 3 swings, almost takes down that tower. What beautiful defense there for Samuel. Unbelievable, huh, guys? I mean, that looks so close, and Hatcher's not happy. Samuel throws a little BM at him. Permanent mute. Bring the permanent mute, Samuel. Bring it, baby. We're gonna need it for you, dude. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed these replays. I really did. I think that this deck is really solid. I wish you guys all the success in the world to it. Make sure you check out Samuel's information and congratulate him on being the first player to get 1 and 2 in the world. You can see that in the description below, along with a huge shout out to my YouTube partner, Bren Chong. You can find his information as well down there in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.